Hello, fellow neutral observers. Long time no see. Um, so I decided to break my silence because I had a really interesting situation last night as far as astral projection. It was my third experience traveling to the inner earth. And so I am not, okay, I did share my first two experiences with you guys, but let me try to give you the rundown of what happened last night around 4 a.m. So I was laying in bed, not expecting to do anything supernatural or spiritual or anything that took any kind of, brain cells because I was just trying to relax and watch something funny. So I just remember all of a sudden kind of just watching this show and then taking some deep breaths, trying to intermittently activate my chakras and push the tingle up my spine. And before I knew it, I was in that state where I was in theta brain, and I had the choice whether to try to leave my body or not. And usually when I come into this state, I'll take the chance. I'll take the chance every time. And that's what I did. So I sent the signals to the brain to sit up, but I didn't move my physical body, if that makes any sense. It's like, I call it ghosting. It's when you have the intention of moving, but you don't physically move. So that's what I did, and I sat straight up, and I was like, okay, what do I do now? Where do I go? And the cool thing about astral projection or remote viewing is that you can fast travel places. And for some reason, I've been wanting to go visit the inner earth. My first experience was really amazing. I was met by a spirit guide in my room, and I had asked him, I want to go upward. I want to go into the atmosphere. I want to go into space. I want to look around. And he said, no, we're going down. And I was like, okay. And I just followed him straight down into the inner earth. And we came into a gigantic cavernous room, and there were several beings there. They were very caveman style. I don't know, but they were like 3 feet tall, like hobbits almost. And they were not pleased with us being there. They could see us, and I remember like wondering why the fuck are they so pissed off? And I mean, would you be happy if some beings that were flying around, floating around, came into your house? So I don't blame them for that. But I remember they were throwing shit at us, and we just kept having to go higher and higher to get away from them. And at the same time, we were having this deep conversation. I was like a little kid. I just kept asking him a bunch of questions like, who's my soul family? Who are you? Were you ever a human? Like, why this? Why that? And he was just like I remember he was trying to handle me in this situation at the same time. And I got some valuable information off him. I remember I talked about this in one of my videos. So anyway, that was my first experience. My second experience was I left my body in my room, and I went straight down with the intention of going to the inner earth. And then I came upon this gigantic room that was like, it was like a tunnel. It was like almost like a subway system, but it was just fucking massive. And it was like shaped like this, and it just went on forever into the darkness. And I remember I just got this really ominous feeling like I feel like I'm intruding. This isn't safe. So I decided to go back into my body, and that's what I did. And maybe I missed out on seeing something cool, maybe not, but I usually try to follow my heart, and it wasn't in that situation. So I pieced out. So this morning around 4 a.m. was different, and it was amazing. So I left my body. Like I said, I sat straight up with the intention of going into the inner earth. What I did was I flew straight through my bed, and it was just pulling me. I wasn't like driving really manually. It was like on auto drive. I was going through some kind of a wormhole, but it was long. And sometimes you can phase shift immediately to places, and then sometimes you go through wormholes. It's weird like that. I'm not sure if it was multi-dimensional, as far as like I was in another dimension, another timeline. I don't know if it was still 3D where I was visiting. I don't know, but let me tell you what happened. So I went through this wormhole, but this one was different than most. It was just really dark. It was like black on the outskirts, and then there was intermittent shards of light shooting by me that were rainbow colored. Kind of like when you put like a crystal on your windowsill and the sun shoots through it and you get the refraction or whatever, and then you see little rainbows on your wall. It was like that. They just kept shooting by me in this blackness. So all I saw was the blackness and the rainbow shards shooting past me. Okay, it went from that to breaking into a really gigantic, kind of like in the sky, but it was a different sky. It wasn't the sky above. It was really dark. It was silverish, and it was dark gray, and it was misty. I broke through the mist, and what I saw was a fucking massive sea of some kind. I'm not sure if it was an ocean, a lake. It was at least a giant lake. I know that. So what I did was I went down and I flew just above the water, and I was just hauling ass. It felt like it was going at least 100 miles an hour. And I was just like trying not to be sucked into the water. I remember I was just like trying really hard not to let that, you know, that fear response kick in, like, oh, you're descending, you're going to fall, you're going to go into the water. So I just kept, you know, keeping my mind clear with the pure intention of flying. I'm in control, you know, and that's what I kept telling myself, and it worked. And I kept hovering above the water and flying straight forward. And I remember coming by these fucking weird, like, they were like inverted tornadoes, like counterclockwise tornado humps coming out of the top of the water, like spinning like this on top of the water, and they were shaped like this, like a dome. And then on top of them was a funnel that went back down into the water. And it was fucking weird. I remember thinking that's like inverted. That's not, because normally it's just a clockwise funnel that goes down into the water when you see those vortices like that. This one had a hump, and then the vortice on top of it went down. It was really weird. And it came up like 10 feet or so off the sea level. And I remember seeing a couple of those as I just kept flying and being like, holy, what is this place? And I just kept flying till I came on a shoreline. And then I remember just trying to fly the shoreline, and I just kept flying on the beach. And the shoreline looked weird. It looked like something you'd see on the shoreline of Alaska, but there wasn't ice. It was nothing like that. It wasn't icy. It was just kind of barren, rather barren looking. And so I remember looking up and like, what the fuck is lighting this place? And I saw something. It looked like the sun, but like weaker and more silver. I don't know how to explain it other than that. I mean, it looked like the sun, like if you'd see our sun with a bunch of chemtrails or light gray clouds in front of it. It was like our sun, but dimmed and silver colored. Silver. I don't know if you've ever seen silver light, but this isn't the first time that I've seen silver light. The only other time was when it's a UFO sighting. It was this actual, I could say it was a silver light. So I remember seeing that and being like, holy shit, man. And then I remember looking over and seeing another one, like a smaller one in the distance. Okay, anyway, so I just kept flying along the shoreline, and I saw these long ships, these boats. They looked like fishing boats, and they weren't ornate. They were just basic looking. And then near them were clustered domed huts. And I remember thinking to myself, this looks like someone that's living off the land here or something. And then I kept flying, and then I saw like a dust devil of energy. Well, there was no color, but there were giant boulders floating in the dust devil, and they were spinning, and they were just stationary, like hovering there. I remember thinking, what the fuck is this? Am I in some like weird dimension, or is this some kind of a technology that they're utilizing with the ocean and with these boulders? I was so amazed. And anyway, I remember shooting back into my body because my fucking cat was going crazy, and he woke me up. He woke me back into my body. And I was just like, God damn, cat. But I just remember being so happy and amazed that I can go from something so mundane as laying in my bed to this fucking place, feeling like I'm there for an hour, and I was gone 10 minutes. And I can come back in my room and play with my cat. So, yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know, because they lied, man. Magic's real. I'm proof. And I want to teach as many as I can, because it adds so much, wonderment and purpose to your life once you're aware of these things, once you're aware of these multidimensional realities. So hopefully someone got something positive out of this, all right? Love and light. See you soon.